The Duggar family has never been far from the spotlight. With their enormous household, their strict religious values, and years of reality television fame, they've become one of America's most recognized and often debated families. From the highs of weddings and new babies to the lows of controversies and scandals, the Duggars have lived much of their lives in public view, capturing the fascination of millions. At the center of this ongoing story is Jessa Duggar Seewald. Once a teenager growing up in the family's reality series, Jessa is now a wife and mother, raising her own children alongside her husband, Ben Seewald. Over the years, fans have watched the young couple build their family, sharing everything from parenting moments to life's challenges with their loyal followers. But now, all eyes are on Jessa and Ben for an entirely new reason. Their newest addition, baby Edward, has just been featured in a series of fresh photos that took fans completely by surprise. These pictures are spreading quickly across social media, sparking endless conversations and leaving many in awe of just how much Edward has grown and how much he resembles his famous family. In the next hour, we're diving deep into why these photos are causing such a stir, what fans are saying, and how this moment fits into the larger story of the Duggar family. From the moment she was introduced to the world as one of the Duggar daughters on 19 Kids and Counting, Jessa Duggar's life has been anything but private. Viewers watched her grow from a teenager navigating strict family rules into a young woman finding her own voice and eventually starting a family of her own. Over time, Jessa became one of the most recognizable Duggar siblings, admired for her poise, her love for family, and her willingness to share glimpses of her personal life with fans. When Counting On premiered, audiences got an even deeper look into Jessa's adult life, particularly her transition into marriage with Ben Seewald and their journey into parenthood. For many fans, Jessa's story stood out because of how relatable it felt. She didn't shy away from showing both the joys and the challenges of raising children, and that authenticity resonated deeply with her followers. Jessa and Ben's family grew quickly. From the moment they welcomed their first child, fans were captivated by how naturally Jessa stepped into the role of motherhood. Her journey was far from picture-perfect, and she was open about that fact. Whether it was the chaos of raising toddlers, the exhaustion of sleepless nights, or the sweet milestones that make it all worth it, Jessa let the public in on the reality behind the scenes. One thing that consistently sets Jessa apart is her parenting style. While she embraces many of the traditions she grew up with, she has also been refreshingly candid about forging her own path as a mom. Through her posts and videos, she often emphasizes patience, gentleness, and creativity in raising her children. She has been known to share tips on discipline, home organization, and finding balance, content that fans often say helps them feel encouraged in their own parenting journeys. Perhaps most endearing is Jessa's willingness to share her children's milestones with the world. From first steps and birthdays to silly, everyday moments, she documents these precious times, not just for her own memories, but for the countless fans who feel like they've been along for the ride since day one. Each update reminds audiences that beyond the fame and headlines, Jessa is a mom like so many others, deeply invested in her children's growth, proud of their achievements, and honest about the challenges along the way. When it comes to the Duggar family, every new addition feels like a milestone not just for them, but for the millions of fans who have followed their story for years. For Jessa Duggar Seewald, baby Edward's arrival was no different. It was a journey filled with anticipation, emotion, and countless heartfelt moments shared along the way. Jessa first shared the news of her pregnancy with Edward in her usual down-to-earth way, opening up to her followers on social media and her YouTube channel. As with her previous pregnancies, she invited fans into the process, giving them little glimpses of doctors' visits, baby bump updates, and those sweet, candid reflections that have become her trademark. Fans felt like they were right there with her, counting down the days until Edward's arrival. Throughout her pregnancy, Jessa was transparent about both the joys and the challenges she faced. She never sugarcoated the reality of morning sickness, fatigue, or the balancing act of raising her older children while preparing for a newborn. Yet she always balanced honesty with gratitude, frequently expressing how thankful she was for another blessing in her life. Her openness drew fans even closer, reminding them why they had connected with her all those years ago on 19 Kids and Counting. When the time finally came for baby Edward's birth, excitement reached its peak. Jessa chose to share Edward's birth story on her YouTube channel, a tradition she's continued with her children, giving fans an intimate look at one of the most personal moments of her life. The birth itself was filled with both intensity and joy, and whether it took place in the calm of a home birth setting or within the walls of a hospital, the focus was always on the miracle of new life. Viewers who tuned in were touched by the raw emotion that filled the room, the tears of joy, the relief, and the overwhelming gratitude that both Jessa and her husband Ben expressed as they welcomed their son into the world. Baby Edward was born healthy, and the initial joy that followed his arrival was evident in every word and smile from the family. For Jessa, sharing Edward's birth was not just about documenting a milestone, it was about connection. Time and time again, she's used her platform to give fans a glimpse into her journey as a mother, inviting them into the everyday beauty and chaos of her life. Edward's birth was another chapter in that story, a reminder of how the Duggar Seewald family continues to grow, and how Jessa's willingness to open her heart has allowed fans to feel like part of the journey. The long-awaited moment finally arrived when Jessa Duggar shared the very first official photos of baby Edward with the world. Fans had been eagerly waiting for weeks, following every hint and subtle tease she dropped on Instagram stories and in her YouTube vlogs. Then, in a heartfelt social media post accompanied by a new family vlog, Jessa unveiled the adorable snapshots that quickly captured the internet's attention. In the photos, baby Edward was seen swaddled in a cozy blanket, nestled in Jessa's arms, with big siblings gathered around him. What stood out most to many viewers was just how much he already resembled his parents. Some fans immediately commented on his striking resemblance to Ben, while others insisted Edward was Jessa's little twin. The buzz didn't stop there. Many noted how quickly he seemed to be growing and how alert he already looked for his young age. Social media lit up within minutes of Jessa's post. On Instagram, the comment section was filled with messages of love and surprise. One fan wrote, "Wow, he looks so much like Spurgeon when he was a newborn, it's uncanny." Another chimed in, "I can't believe how big he already looks. He's definitely a Duggar baby." Others were touched by the family moment, praising Jessa and Ben for continuing to share these personal milestones despite the challenges of living life in the public eye. What shocked many fans most wasn't just Edward's resemblance to his siblings, but also the raw and unfiltered way Jessa presented the photos. Unlike the more polished and staged introductions that some Duggar family members have shared in the past, Jessa opted for an authentic and intimate reveal. The candid shots, paired with her vlog narration, gave viewers a sense that they were part of the family, experiencing the joy right alongside them. This unveiling sparked comparisons to past Duggar baby introductions. When Jill, Joanna, or even Jinger introduced their little ones, the photos often came through carefully planned announcements or collaborations with magazines. Jessa, however, has consistently chosen a more personal route, using her YouTube platform and social media as her main avenue of connection. Fans noted that this approach made Edward's reveal feel extra special, like a gift directly from Jessa to her followers. Within hours, hashtags like #BabyEdward and #DuggarFamily began trending among fan communities, showing just how much impact these photos had. Longtime supporters reminisced about when Jessa first introduced her older children, Spurgeon, Henry, and Ivy, and marveled at how quickly time has flown. Seeing Edward now carried a sense of nostalgia, reminding everyone how much the Duggar Seewald family has grown and changed over the years. The excitement, the love, and the surprise all combined to make baby Edward's first photos a defining moment for Duggar fans online. The release of baby Edward's photos sparked a massive wave of responses online. Within minutes, Jessa's comment section was flooded with thousands of messages from fans who have followed her journey since her days on 19 Kids and Counting On. For many, seeing Edward's first official photos felt like witnessing a piece of Duggar family history in real time. Fans couldn't stop gushing over Edward's appearance. Words like precious, angelic, and adorable appeared repeatedly, with countless supporters praising his bright eyes, tiny features, and striking resemblance to his siblings. Many pointed out how much he looked like Ben, while others swore he had Jessa's smile. Some longtime viewers even went back to compare Edward's photos with older pictures of Spurgeon, Henry, and Ivy, noting uncanny similarities between the children. The praise wasn't just for Edward. Many fans applauded Jessa for how radiant she looked in the photos, highlighting her strength as a mom. Supporters reminded her that balancing 4 children while constantly being in the public eye is no easy task. Some even shared that seeing Jessa embrace motherhood so joyfully gave them encouragement in their own parenting journeys. Of course, along with the admiration came speculation. A few fans began discussing Duggar family dynamics, questioning whether Edward's debut signaled a shift in how Jessa shares her life. Some wondered if this was her way of reconnecting with the public after stepping away from reality TV, while others speculated whether the Duggar family as a whole might be preparing for a new chapter of media visibility. Interestingly, some comments also brought up the bigger picture, how deeply invested fans remain in the Duggar children's lives. Every new baby milestone, from first steps to birthdays, draws massive attention because for many supporters, these moments feel personal. After watching Jessa grow up on television, they now feel like extended family members, celebrating each new addition right alongside her. This deep emotional connection explains why baby Edward's photos caused such a stir. For the Duggar fanbase, these images weren't just sweet snapshots. They represented continuity, hope, and the next generation of a family they've been following for nearly 2 decades. Jessa's willingness to share updates about baby Edward shows just how deeply connected the Duggar family still is to their loyal fanbase. Even though 19 kids and counting on were both canceled, her posts prove that the Duggar legacy is far from fading. By continuing to open a window into her life as a mom, Jessa is keeping that sense of familiarity alive for those who grew up watching her journey on television. Fans who once tuned in weekly now look forward to every new photo, vlog, or Instagram update, and Edward has quickly become the newest symbol of that ongoing legacy. What's especially striking is how much support Jessa receives, despite the controversies that have surrounded her family in recent years. For many followers, Jessa represents strength, resilience, and a more grounded side of the Duggar story. The love and encouragement that pour in with every post about Edward show that people want to celebrate her growth as a mother while distancing themselves from the more troubling headlines linked to other family members. In many ways, she has become a bridge between the Duggar past and the future, carving her own path while still holding on to the traditions that made her family household names. Looking ahead, fans can't help but wonder what Jessa has planned next. Will she share more frequent vlogs of Edward's milestones, his first steps, first words, or those funny toddler moments? Could we see collaborations with her siblings as their families continue to grow, or perhaps even a new platform where she documents her motherhood journey more fully? One thing seems clear: the audience's appetite for Duggar family updates is still strong, and with Edward now in the spotlight, Jessa has every opportunity to surprise her followers with new chapters of her family story. As we wrap up this journey, it's clear that baby Edward's big photo reveal was more than just a sweet family update. It was a moment that truly shocked and delighted Duggar fans everywhere. From his adorable expressions to the strong family resemblance that had everyone talking, the photos sparked both excitement and deep admiration for Jessa and her growing family. This moment also highlights Jessa's enduring role as a mother in the spotlight. Through every milestone, challenge, and celebration, she continues to share her heart with the world, keeping the Duggar legacy alive while carving out her own space as a devoted wife and mom. For fans, Jessa isn't just a familiar face from television. She's an inspiration, a reminder of strength, love, and faith through life's ups and downs. And with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.